We have another video based on the Sleepers transfer portal rankings. This one is out of the SEC. The Auburn Tigers went to a Final Four last season, had some turnover with this team, have a pretty solid class coming in that we're going to talk about here. I am Carter Elliott. I am here with Riley Davis. Cumulatively, I can't believe I even got that word right. The Sleepers Media team ranked this Auburn transfer class as the 14th best class in the country. Riley and I were on the same page on this one. Shout out to the Twinskies. We locked in. You already know what it is. We both we both had them as the 13th best transfer portal haul in the country. Now the players that are making up this transfer portal haul, you have Keyshawn Hall coming in from UCF. You have Keyshawn Murphy coming in from Mississippi State. Kevin Overton from Texas Tech, and then Elijah Freeman, the D2 transfer from Lincoln Memorial, very successful D2 program, making his way up to the D1 level, playing for Auburn. A very large, long, skillful class. I'm very excited to talk about it. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Riley, can I get one word to describe this transfer portal class?
My one word is keeping with the brand of Auburn basketball, and that is psychos. And I think Keyshawn Hall definitely fits that billing in a variety of different categories that he will pick up the baton right where guys like Chad Baker Mazzara left it. I also think there's less intel just when I don't know as much about the background of some of these other players, but even watching someone like Elijah Freeman play with sort of calling him erratic would be a bit of that would have too much of a negative connotation. But I would just say there's a wide variety of outcomes for him, and he's electric when he is on, though. I'm really curious to see if it translates. And then we'll even touch on the JUCO guys briefly. I think Bashir is one of those guys, Abdul Bashir. He is one of those guys where you watch his play style and it's like, oh, this is an Auburn guy. This guy is not afraid to take any shot on the court. There are probably times where if given the green light, he would shoot you out of a game, but there will also be times where if given the green light, he can win you a game. So just very fitting in terms of the types of players that Bruce Pearl tends to gravitate toward. And I mean that in a positive sense. I just want to be clear with that. Even though sometimes the guards get a little out of hand, I mean, Bruce Pearl's been to two Final Fours. He's one of the best coaches in the sport. So I am not doubting him here, but I just see where a lot of these guys seem to be the perfect fit for what this roster needs.
Yeah, Bruce Pearl seems to thrive in that. He doesn't want anything perfect. He needs something with a little bit of chaos, a little bit
A
of
little
fun. Like
edge.
that classic meme, it's broke, but it might be fun to fix a little bit. That's kind
Uh-huh.
of Bruce Pearl finds himself in a great spot with that one. I used intriguing, just because like as I go up and down this list, like Kevin Overton was a player who at Texas Tech. Honestly, I was really looking forward to him taking a step with Texas Tech this season. He comes and opts to transfer to Auburn. Keyshawn Murphy, a player at Mississippi State, very intriguing. Anytime I watched him, 6'10", 230. I think he's got a lot of tools that could be really good. And then Keyshawn Hall, he's just like this enigma. He's a bucket
Mhm.
getter, but does that bucket getting equate to any winning? He's got buckets at every single stop he's got. He's also got an incredible shape, which we'll talk about when we get to him as well. And then Elijah Freeman, who I mean, I've been a massive fan of him since he entered the portal. I was very interested to see where he ends up. I think there's a world where he ends up being an NBA player someday if Bruce Pearl can bring him along, given his size and versatility. But yeah, this is a very intriguing class. So that's the word that I use with it. But I like where you went with it as well. But let's go ahead and jump right into this class. I'm going to go ahead and just start top to bottom. I'm looking at 24/7 Sports right now to list off the transfers. Riley, what I want to do is give a 1 through 5 star rating for each of the transfers. Now, this can be, based on the fit, the player itself. It's your ranking. You can do what you want with it, but I want to go 1 through 5 star for each of these transfers. Now, let's start with Kevin Overton, the shooting guard, 6'5", transfer coming in from Texas Tech.
Overton's a 3 star for me. There's nothing spectacular about his game. I just envision him sliding in as this ancillary piece who's going to primarily shoot step in threes. Maybe you develop him more as a movement shooter, but I see him more in line with some of those complementary guards we've seen at Auburn through the years. You're not going to put the ball in his hands a ton, but it's okay though. He can fill a variety of roles. You know he's coming from a good coach and Grant McCaslin over in Lubbock. Seems like a guy who will buy in, and I expect him to start alongside Tahab Pettiford and be that I guess a play finisher just more from beyond the arc as opposed to, your typical play finisher when you think of a lob threat or something like that. But he should thrive off of catch and shoot opportunities, whether it's Keyshawn Hall setting him up, whether it's Keyshawn Murphy setting him up, who's really good out of the short roll, or whether it's Tahad. Big question mark for him is just upping that 3-point efficiency. He was not good on corner threes last year. He's better when it comes from top of the key or from the right or left wing, but that's going to be primarily his role. And that's, I mean, one of the best shots in basketball you can get. So he really needs to up the efficiency there to for me to fully buy in. But I think at worst, he is a above average power conference starter who can fill a role.
Yeah, I went with 3 star as well. For me, Kevin Overton is just always going to be a player that, and I don't mean this as a slight whatsoever, but you plug him in and you feel good about it, right? Like he's in a
Mhm.
good system with McCaslin. He's a really good player, good size. He will defend, he will compete. If he can up that 3 point percentage, then he becomes like this ultimate like glue guy who you're like, we'll get to the end of the year, we're doing like our glue guys list, and I'm like, we need to talk about Kevin Overton. He's bringing everything together, surrounded by stars like Pettiford and maybe what Keyshawn Hall, these other guys could be. But it's like it's hard when you look at Overton, though. It's not like you look at Chad Baker Mazara leaving this team and basically them bringing in Kevin Overton. And I think Kevin Overton might be more mentally stable, but I don't think he's as good as a basketball player as Chad
Right.
Baker Mazara is and doesn't have the size that Chad Baker Mazara has. But a very solid player, really good ad, I think, for as late as they got him and at the time they got him when Auburn kind of needed him when they needed to pivot when they had Chad Baker Mazara leave to transfer over to USC because he did not get his cheddar, which I respect, by the way. Moving down the list here, Keyshawn Murphy, the 6'10 transfer coming in from Mississippi State, the first of the Keyshawns of this transfer portal class.
Yeah, I gave him 4 stars. You could honestly talk me into five. I think he is one of the more slept on transfers from this cycle, especially when you look at the bigs who actually hit the portal. I think he's in that upper echelon of the Henry Vasars of the world. Honestly, who are the other big name bigs he transferred? Mustafa Tom.
Honestly, it was a little bit, it was kind of big. I mean, you had like Merez and those guys, but
Rez Mara. I
yeah,
mean, I like Murphy maybe better than all of them other than Vasar, and that's because Vasar's my guy.
respect. Yeah.
But I think, I mean, the dude is an absolute dog on the glass. He was top 20 in the SEC in both offensive rebounding and defensive rebounding rate. He's a spring-loaded athlete who will catch a bunch of lobs from, again, whether it's Tahad or whether it's Keyshawn Hall who's throwing them to him. But I think when you look at his profile and when you envision him playing at Mississippi State, it's easy to overlook how skilled he is because so often when you think Mississippi State, you think like ugly basketball games, Josh Hubbard taking 20 shots and not much else going on. But Murphy has a legit face-up game. Like he can attack from the short corner. He's a really, really gifted passer. Like he's money on the short roll. He's pretty comfortable putting the ball on the deck and collapsing a defense and finding a guy for a dump off. There was one play against Texas last year where he caught the ball, I think at the elbow off a roll, and took 1 to 2 dribbles, threw a behind the back pass to a cutter for a dunk that was like, wow, I had no idea this guy had this in his arsenal. So you see his developmental track record of how he's ascended every year. I don't think he's going to put up Janai Broom type numbers, especially defensively. That's where I think Broom truly made himself elite. But I wouldn't be shocked at all if he averaged 14, 15 a game and like 8 or 9 boards. Like he can do some of the same stuff in terms of taking slower footed bigs off the bounce or dribbling into a post up and facilitating that way. So I think, again, perfect fit and a really, really good player.
Yeah, I loved Keyshawn Murphy. He was one that entered the portal, and I did my classic Michigan State thing. Like, I want this kid. I just
Hmm.
6'10", 230, like you said, an athlete. Underrated game, in my opinion. Like, obviously, I think he has the athleticism to be a catch and finish type guy. But in 24 minutes a game last year, he was 11 and 8. 11 and 8, almost 2 assists a game. To your point, I think he's very good in the short roll. Not the defender, obviously, not the shot blocker. Maybe you
Hmm.
want him to be, given his size, but I think he is a guy that is going to be able to at least block 2 shots a game. It's just about him staying on the floor, staying engaged, and obviously, if he can up that free throw percentage, like there was times last year Mississippi State had to take him out of the game because it was close, and they're playing that nasty Mississippi State style basketball, and the free throws made the difference. And he's not a guy who's a really good free throw shooter, only 61% last
Yeah.
year, but. He's probably one of the more underrated hauls of this transfer class, but maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later. Moving
Sorry, I
on.
got to
Oh,
interject
go
for a
ahead.
second. I didn't even notice this. He attempted fewer than 100 free throws last year. Only attempted 97. I guess that's probably why maybe he's a little more unheralded. Like you would think someone with that, with his finishing ability and like he shot 72% at the rim. You would expect someone with that size and athleticism would, I mean, be able to draw contact a little bit more. Maybe playing for a bigger brand and and a program that has been on top of the conference in recent years, you get a little bit more benefit of the doubt than you do at Mississippi State. But yeah, I like to. I need to see that number go up too, Keyshawn.
Yeah, Mississippi State basketball games were no blood, no foul. So no
Why
one
did
shot free
Michael
throws.
Nwoko start over him? Like, what is Chris Jans doing with this?
You know what? I asked myself that a lot last
Bro,
season.
he was literally throwing Michael Nwoko in to play 12 minutes a game and like, all right, cool, let's play our actual good big now.
Yeah, it made absolutely zero sense to me. But maybe it was because they were actually winning games. People let it go, but it was I don't know what they were on with that. Moving on here. Oh, sorry, I didn't even give Keyshawn his rating. I'm sorry, 4 stars for Keyshawn Murphy. I really like that ad. It's just about him staying on the floor, which I think will keep him short of the 5th star for me. Moving down, we have Keyshawn Hall, a bucket getter in every shape, form. And every shape and form, I say that because Keyshawn Hall is a player that has transformed his body since his first year of college basketball. He looks like a completely different person. And say what you want, Riley. I know you and I were tapped into our UCF nights last season. We had to be. We had no choice. Keyshawn Hall got buckets against every Big 12 team. There was a game against Kansas. They lost at Fog Allen. Bill Self and them couldn't do anything with him. This is a guy that gets buckets. Now, I think like his fourth school in as many years. That's not necessarily the biggest winner of all time, I guess I would
Mhm.
say. There is a track record of his programs getting better at basketball after he leaves. But where are you at with Keyshawn Hall as far as a star ranking?
Yeah, my heart says 5 stars. My brain says four, and I think I got to go with my brain on this one. I'll give him four, just because of those questions about how he impacts winning. He's played for like every high school in the Midwest too. You know, I mean, actually, I guess he probably moved all around. And what did he? Didn't he go to like 7 or 8 high schools?
Yeah, he was like from Ohio, then he went to a prep school, then he was all over the place, man.
Yeah, yeah, he has a track record of movement. Maybe that just means he has motion or whatever Gen Z brain rot term you want to throw on that.
Respect
But
to him.
Um, like what you see what makes his game so enticing and why so many programs have taken a chance on him because he is 6'7", 230 and an absolute pure bucket getter. I think he can create off the bounce some, but I almost like him more when he's attacking off of a ball reversal or reading the defense and like he attacks the closeout really well too. Underrated passer. The jumper is funky, but sometimes he gets hot and it goes in. But one of the main appeals to him for me is like this dude lives at the charity stripe. Like this dude attempted 10 or more free throws in 8 games last year. Maybe that offsets Keyshawn Murphy's inability to get to the line. But yeah, I think you look at his role here, if he will accept it, he could be the perfect complementary piece on the perimeter to Todd Pettiford. And I think kind of adds a little bit of some of the elements that Pettiford is weaker in right now. And that's some of that physicality, the ability to get into the paint. I know he needs to improve as a finisher as well, but just with his physicality, man, he's going to get to the line a ton. And we've said this at the top. Bruce Pearl's been really good at reeling in those mercurial type players. When keep pointing to Chad Baker Mazara, if he could handle him and get the best version of him, I think there's plenty of faith that he can do the same for Keyshawn Hall.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what Bruce Pearl does with Keyshawn Hall. But to your point, the guy just gets buckets, man. He gets buckets and he gets to the free throw line. It's not even like foul baiting stuff. It's like he has this determination to get to the hoop. And he's 6'7", 230. Like you got it. Like he gets guys on him, and he really. The one thing I think is impressive about Keyshawn Hall's game, I think he identifies mismatches. Like
Hmm.
he really looks at the guy across from him. He's like, this guy's too slow. I'm gonna go to the basket. He's going to have to foul me. If he doesn't foul me, then I'm going to score. And that's exactly what he does. And one of the things that's underrated too about his he's a really good rebounder, man. Like a year, 2 years ago, averaged 8 rebounds a game. Last year, averaged 7 rebounds a game. It's funny though because I was having a conversation with somebody and they're like, "Why is Keyshawn Hall such a good rebounder?" I was like, "Well, it's because he wants the ball to shoot it, and he realizes if he gets a rebound, then he can just take it and go." But in all actuality, he really is a good rebounder. I gave this a 4 star. I think this could be like the perfect marriage between him and Bruce Pearl. If there's a coach that I think could possibly get the best out of him and be like, I don't know, just I don't even know what to call it, but I feel like Bruce Pro just has a way of speaking to players like Keyshawn Hall that'll eventually resonate with him. But I give it a 4 star. I think the talent is there, and I'll be very interested to see what his role is going to be playing next to guys like Pettiford and other guys because there is going to be some talent, I think, on this Auburn team. Um, moving down the
Also,
list.
hold on.
Oh,
We got to give. Am I missing something here? I'm doing a deep dive on Keyshawn Hall's high school career now. Okay, he played at Cleveland Heights, the Skills Factory in Georgia, and Denver Prep. That's not nearly as much as the narrative would have you believe. I thought he was going to have like a Dior Johnson list of high schools. This
it
is
ain't
this is
Dior
fine.
Johnson,
He's
but
not
it's
as
it's it's AJ Storr-esque kind of like he hasn't attended a school for more than 1 year in the last 7 years, it feels like.
Yeah, I think sometimes in this space you see like the really crazy high school list where you get a little numb to three high schools in 4 years. So
That's nothing nowadays. I respect it.
anyway, we can continue, but I at least wanted to add that, give that addendum that maybe his history isn't quite as checkered with like going from school to school as we once thought. But then when you put it that way, where it's like, yo, dude has been at a different school in each of the past 6 years, it kind of puts it in perspective.
Respect that. If I had the opportunity to do that back in the day, I probably would. Last but not least, Elijah Freeman, the Lincoln Memorial transfer, 6'8", very, very intriguing prospect. Played 1 year at Lincoln Memorial, was all conference at that level. A very highly recruited player, I think, when he entered the transfer portal, making the jump from D2 to D1. What star rating do you give Elijah Freeman?
Elijah Freeman's a 3 star for me. Obviously, this could be the biggest revisionist history in a year from now, where we go back. It's like, wow, why do we underrate this guy? I just have some of the questions about moving up a level. I think there's a chance that if he spends 2 years on the plains, we see the better version of him in the 2026, 2027 season, much like we did with Chaney Johnson. But I do believe at worst this year, you have a 6'8" wing who's an absolute sniper. He shot 46% from three at Lincoln Memorial. But I think he's got a little bit more to his game than just catch and shoot. There is some like ISO on ball skill. If that translates, he's going to be an absolute stud. He's really good in transition as well, runs the court well, finds the open window for three. Pretty good rebounder, too. I wouldn't say he's like an elite or great athlete by any stretch, but he's athletic enough, I think, to hang in the SEC. I'm just still a little bit curious to see like what exactly does his role become? How quickly does he acclimate? Is there any sort of learning curve?
Yeah, obviously, I think there will be a jump, given what the up in level for him. But I mean, his stats were incredible as a freshman. Even like any freshman coming into any level and making an impact that he was able to make, is one that you gotta just really like. I mean, 19 points a game, like you stated, 58% from the field, almost 40, no, almost 46% from three. Almost, actually not almost. I'm over here selling him short. 9 rebounds a game. Also a guy that accumulated a lot of blocks and steals too. So good, stocks as the kids call it nowadays. I think he's an active player. One that I really like. And my favorite Elijah Freeman anecdote. I remember looking at this when he first entered the portal. You could see in the first 2 games for Lincoln Memorial, they played him 11 minutes and 10 minutes. And then the coach is like, all right, yeah, we might have something. He starts from that point on, and then it's curtains. It's double doubles. It's 20 and 13 games, adding like four steals, 4 blocks with it. He was just an incredible player, and he's probably one of the more intriguing prospects. 'Cause obviously, you have a freshman transferring up. He's gonna have multiple years, maybe an adjustment period. Maybe it looks like a 2 year plan with him. Hashtag 2 year plan. Shout out to Illinois. Maybe a player that could be even more impactful down the stretch. I give this a 3 star for now. I think that's a fair rating for him, but could be one where we look back on this where like he is the prize of this class,
Mhm.
possibly. So I'd also like to take this break to do a little breakout room here. Riley has provided us with a little JUCO minute because there are some JUCO guys coming up here that I think deserve a mention.
Yes, I'll hit on those guys briefly. Abdul Bashir is the headliner of this class. I believe I saw this on Twitter. I did not verify it, so if it's factually wrong, don't believe everything you read on the internet, but average 27, and there were some accounts saying that this was the highest point total in every junior college league across the country. This dude is a pure bucket getter. He's never seen a shot he doesn't like. He pulls from wherever. Great footwork. That's how he tends to separate from defenders. Has a variety of moves and counters he can get to. Good high release. The only questions are he's skinny, not overly athletic. Shot 41.8% from the floor, so not particularly efficient. But getting 27 is getting 27 a game.
27
Come
is
on now.
27. I don't give a damn
Yeah,
about that
yeah.
40.
He's just an absurd shot maker. My question marks for him is just what's the role? I doubt Pearl's just going to be like, "Yo, go take whatever shots you want." At the same time, psycho. I'll leave it at that. Other one is Emeka Apurum. He was the third ranked JUCO prospect for 24/7 Sports. Bashir was number one. He's a 7 footer, long wingspan, super bouncy. I don't know how skilled he is. Average 9-8, his one and only year at Butler Community College in Kansas. But I do think he can do worse than betting on someone with his size, wingspan, and athleticism combo. Should block a ton of shots. If they can get Keyshawn Murphy up to 30 minutes a game, if he can avoid some of that foul trouble that plagued him at Mississippi State, then you start to see, like, okay, the role here, this guy comes in, 10 minutes off the bench, 5 fouls to give, blocks a ton of shots. All he has to do is catch lobs on the other hand, and the guards will command plenty of attention. Then, yeah, there's a world for him to be pretty good. Also, my favorite anecdote about Emeka Opurum Cart, he played in a conference in Kansas, literally called the Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference.
I mean, everything is just coming up Kansas in that state.
Why did the Jayhawks get their own community college conference named after them?
Because Bill Self said so.
Yep.
And are you one to question that?
I am not. No, fair enough.
Okay, respect the Bill Self. Thank you for that little anecdote there. Definitely some interesting prospects in there, given the size that you mentioned. Then the Bashir family tree is just about buckets. It's about nothing else though, but it's about buckets and being a psycho. So,
See,
uh,
that's where I question too, is just because like his brother was on an awful, awful, awful Monmouth team that was predicated on him taking whatever shot he wanted. So I'm like, can this be a winning style? Again, I will bank on Bruce Pearl figuring it out, but I'm just not ready to say like, oh yeah, he's for sure even like a 10, 15 minute a game guy next year.
yeah, I respect it. All right, moving on to this class. I want who's going to be the best player out of this class?
I'll go Murphy. I do think Bruce takes him to another level. And again, he's not going to be Janai Broom, but he at least draws some comparisons every now and then.
Yeah, honestly, that's for me too. I'm a big Keyshawn Murphy fan. I really like his game. I think there's a world where it's unlocked playing for Auburn, when he's free from Chris Jans and playing behind Michael Hanna. I can't believe that. I forgot that he was that it was playing behind him. That's a crazy, crazy word by Chris Jans. I'm gonna need somebody on the Mississippi State beat to ask some questions of that. No way we let that slide all year. Just crazy, crazy work. Who
I
is?
just,
Oh no, go ahead.
sorry, as we're talking through this, I'm like, yes, insane. I'm also trying to workshop a Jimmy Dykes impersonation calling a Keyshawn Murphy game.
Uh, t- God, I hope we can get that by the end of this. I truly cook it up for us so we can, please. What's the biggest question mark from this transfer portal class?
Can Keyshawn Hall win?
I think that's got to be it, right? It's like what, like he is in a program that is about winning. Auburn is
Mhm.
a winning program. With all due respect to George Mason, with all due respect to UNLV, with all due respect to my UCF Knights, not winning programs. I'm sorry, just not. This is a whole different beast. This is a whole different conference. It's one of the best in the sport. All due respect to the Big 12. Not trying to downplay that whatsoever, but it really is. What does Keyshawn Hall look like in this system, and what can he do? And if it hits, we're gonna be looking over here like Bruce Pearl got one of the best players in the portal. If it goes
Mhm.
south, we're gonna be like, oh well, there goes that thing again. So
Yep.
okay, that is how it is. Let's see here. Let's end it with this. One bold prediction for this transfer class.
Elijah Freeman tests the draft waters, gets some first round grades, follows in the path of Tahad Pettiford, and comes back for his second year at Auburn.
I love that bold prediction more than life itself. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Oh, I think that Bruce Pearl is born in the darkness on his bane. He loves craziness. He's gonna make Keyshawn Hall an all SEC guy. He will
Can
be all
I
SEC.
can I get you to go first team? All first team has a bunch of selections. Okay.
I can't. I can't. I can't. It's so scary.
Second team?
I'll go second team.
What are okay, let's think about this for a second. Who are Keyshawn Hall's biggest competitors for SEC newcomer of the year?
Newcomer,
Jacoby Gillespie. He's not gonna be out Jacoby Gillespie. Come on.
Boogie Fland,
Xavier Lee.
Davian Lee, Jalen Love,
I could take him over Jalen Lowe.
Jaden Waitness.
Health concerns, maybe.
That's true. I mean, he's definitely gonna be in the Jaleel Bethea.
Matas Voikatitis,
That's a crazy pull.
horns up.
Oh, not horns up. Cam Heidi.
Malik Ewan. There's some talent coming in, but it's not as far fetched as you would think that he could maybe beat out Boogie Fland or Jacob. When you say it out loud, he's not beating out Boogie Fland or Jacoby Gillespie.
Yeah, he's not. But I see what you're trying to make me go bold, and I appreciate it, Riley. I'm the one who's being soft here. But look, a very talented Auburn transfer class. That's why we had them ranked so high. If you like this video, we have 20 others on the channel. I'm sorry, 24 others on the channel, but some of them are already currently up. But we'll be releasing the top 10 next week. Be sure to check that out. We also got a bunch of other content coming on the channel. We got Riley Fridays as always. So be sure to tap into Sleepers Media YouTube channel for all your college basketball content. The season is quickly approaching. Get with us or get lost. That sign off really sucked. I'm going to end this video. Thank y'all for watching.